Hello, hello, hello. Happy New Year again. This is Karen of Karen Shier Coaching. And this is the second video in my series. Um, I created the first video, why and how to celebrate your many successes from the previous year. And what I did in that video is I invited you to really sit and celebrate your successes. We often forget all the good things that we've done and what we've accomplished. And that kind of cheats us out of getting into that wonderful feeling space of all the good that we brought into our life and all the great things that we did in the past year. So I'd really like you to, if you haven't done that already, take a look at that video. It's 11 minutes, and you're going to learn why and how to celebrate your successes from the past year and why it's a good thing to do that. And yes, you've had many successes, my friend. It may seem right now that you may not, but when you start letting those fall in, you're going to find that you had a lot. So bask in the awesomeness of who you are in the moment and allow yourself to really sit with that and bask in all the successes you have. And then what we're going to do is that will allow you to begin the next year, begin 2024 with clear energy. And there's such a great deal of therapeutic reasons for doing that. You want to close out your energies for 2023. And I do that through journaling. I really love that practice. So I'm going to give you some journal questions to write down and consider, and actually write them in your journal when you get a moment. But consider these questions because this might help you kind of close out your year and really assess how did things go. So the first one I have for you is, what struggles did I have and what did I learn from them in 2023? How did that struggle make me stronger? What lessons did it teach me? What struggles did I have and what did I learn from them? And I guess at this point, I want to remind you that there are never failures. And, when we think that we're failing, we go into this place of self-judgment. And so I want to invite you to change your perspective and think about struggles that you've had are simply redirects. They're divine redirects, if you will. The universe, divine, God, angels, whomever that support team, the divine support team is for you, is just trying to lead you in a different direction. Or maybe it's giving you a lesson to learn so that you become a stronger person or come through whatever struggle you're facing in a stronger way. And if you can shift your perspective in that way, you're going to be less likely to fall into self-judgment when a struggle occurs in the future. And there will be more struggles. There always is, right? But if we learn and approach them that way, we're going to be so much stronger for it. And we're not as likely to get bushwhacked or knocked down when a struggle happens. We can come through those a little bit more unscathed. My second journal prompt for you to consider is, what is one of your most precious, beautiful, or joyful moments from this past year? And it doesn't have to be big. It can be a little thing. But what is one of your most precious, beautiful, or joyful moments of the past year? A simple moment, a profound moment, or maybe a difficult moment that became a most precious moment. Take a minute, pause the video, journal on that for just a second. My third question for you is, what do you want to release and leave behind in 2023? What is it that you don't want to follow you into 2024? What do you want to be done with? Write about that for a moment. And then finally, as you're thinking about your year, is there a word or a phrase that comes to you which describes the essence of what 2023 was for you? What comes to mind? Just quietly listen and things will start to drop in. Write those things down. What resonates with you? And then finally, to really close out your year, practice gratefulness and thanksgiving. When you are complete and you're with celebrating these successes from my first video, like I mentioned, and you've examined your struggles and the lessons learned, and you've considered the journal prompts that I gave you, Close out your 2023 energies by writing a paragraph or a letter of gratitude to your divine source. And I love this idea. This came, this idea came to me from my friend and mentor and publisher, Linda Joy. And one of the things that she offered as a really lovely way to close out the year is a letter of gratitude to your divine source, whether that be universe, God, goddess, Buddha, whomever that is for you. And it can go change it however you want to, but it can go something like this. Thank you, divine, for the year of blessings and lessons in my life. I choose to learn from, to celebrate, and to release this past year so I can move into the new year with clear energy, positive intent, and filled with trust and possibility. And so it is. All is well. And I always like to add thank you, thank you, thank you to the end of those kinds of statements when I'm writing a statement to the divine, a statement of thankfulness. Um, and that's how you can kind of close out 2023, go through those processes of success and the lessons learned, like I mentioned to you, end it with gratefulness and thanksgiving, and then bask in that a little bit and allow yourself the time to kind of really reflect on 2023. And then you can move on to, setting your new year intentions from a clear heart space, from a place of joy and from a place of clarity and forward thinking and positivity. I just think this is such a powerful thing to do, and I invite you to do this along with me. Um, Many of us will set resolutions, and I used to set resolutions, but I've kind of changed that, and we'll talk through that. But I've kind of changed that over the years because, for me, what I found is for resolutions, they didn't stick for me. And I was doing a little bit of research on why they don't stick. And this information is from Marissa Peer, who's an RTT expert. And Marissa mentions that resolutions are really not good for your well-being. They're often too rigid and your brain tries to move away from them instead of embracing them because there's certain words, and I do a lot of teaching on words and how the mind does or doesn't like certain words or does or doesn't recognize or acknowledge certain words. And generally, when we write resolutions or talk about resolutions, they're too rigid. And so your mind tries to protect you from the rigidity of them and moves away. And then they're often focused on loss or what you don't want instead of what you do. All right. So, um, for instance, I often hear people say, and I've said it myself, I want to lose weight. Well, your mind doesn't like that word. So it doesn't like the term loss, and it's going to try to protect you from loss. So the more you say you want to lose weight, it's going to pull weight to you. It's going to maintain the weight because it doesn't resonate with loss because your brain looks at it as though it's a bad thing. Um, so you'll want to focus on what you want instead. So maybe you say things, a simple shift is release weight. Because release, when you lose something, it connotes that something's coming back, that you're going to gain it back. When you release something, like we're releasing things into 2023, the focus then becomes, oh, okay, we're just going to release. We're not going to lose, we're going to release. It's a little shift, but it's very profound. And it's just little word shifts that really help your mind follow what you really want to happen. Okay. Two notes that Marissa, I gotta give her credit for was reframing your resolutions to I am statements. Words that follow I am follow you. And hopefully that makes sense. So if you start a statement with I am and follow it with a positive word, that's what your body's going to try to, and what your mind is going to try to aspire to. Your mind is working to make your words a reality. It's so fascinating when you start to delve into those the nuances around the words we speak and some of the things like that that we do. So if you say, I am enough, I am worthy, I am, maybe you say, I am at my ideal weight. I love eating the foods that are good for me. I love to move my body. I love to get up every morning and work out. So even if you're not doing that currently, if you're focused on those kinds of shifts, you're going to aspire to do that more often. And it's going to be a success for you. Um, One of the other things I like to do, like I started to say that I kind of moved away from resolutions myself because I found them too restrictive. And so, kind of what I did is several years ago, I started watching this New Year's Eve meditation put on by Christy Whitman. And I've watched it every New Year's Eve now. And she takes us through some processes. And we talk about, you've probably heard of choosing a word for the new year. But what I try to do every year is kind of choose a word or a phrase. And that's kind of becomes my focus for whatever phrase that I have for that particular year. For example, in 2023, wanted the phrase, I wanted to focus on flowing with ease and grace. Ease, grace, and flow. And so anytime, it was kind of nice because what I did is I put those words at the top of my computer and a little label. And anytime I felt like I was struggling or things were hard, that would take me back to, okay, how do I want this to go? I want to flow with ease and grace. I want to, um, the decision I make to be one of ease and grace. When I was talking about my house purchase and sale and how that all flowed with ease and grace, that came out of the resolution that I set for the beginning of 2023. And I can tell you that phrase has been so powerful for me over this past year that it's just really made me calmer and things a lot more light. And I was able to stick with that for the whole year. It wasn't something that by the end of January I'd forgotten of. It really focused my year. It focused my business. How do I want things to flow? I want things to flow with ease and grace. And when I made decisions, I made the decisions that were congruent with flowing with ease and grace. And when a decision came up, if it wasn't going to flow with ease and grace, I said no to it. And my life and my year was so much better and more powerful. And I accomplished so many things because I wasn't focused on the wrong things. I was focused on the things that would move myself and my business and my home and everything forward based on flow and ease and grace. So what I'd like you to think about is, what's most important to you in 2024? Journal about that a little bit. Think about what are the important things that you want to accomplish or you want to do or you want to be or you want to have in 2024 and really get into the feeling space. I'm not talking necessarily about, things or money or material things. Those are great things. And if they're on your list, that's great. But really get into the feeling space. How do you want to feel in 2024? And if you focus on the feeling space, your decisions are going to naturally flow you to get the material or the other things that you really want. So, what's most important to you in 2024? Really give that some thought. My second journaling prompt for New Year's and going into 2024 is when you get to the end of the year, we're at December 31st, New Year's Eve of 2024, 2025. And what do you want to celebrate accomplishing on that date? If you look back and you wake up that morning and you're looking back across all of 2024, where do you want to be? What is it that you want to have accomplished in this next year? What will be something that you've experienced that you're going to want to pause and celebrate at that time? What's going to be different? And, where you want to be. Really think about it from that perspective. It's easy to throw out things like, well, I want this or I want that. But look at it from the perspective of your future self looking back. It gives you a whole new perspective. And I really feel like it makes your planning and your thought process is a lot stronger when you're thinking about what do I want next year? My third journal prompt for you is what is one inspired action that you could take today to move you in the direction of the desired destination at year end 2024? So you've kind of decided where you want to be in the end of the year. What's just one little step? What's one little step you could do today or tomorrow to move you in that direction? Doesn't have to be anything big, just one next step. Think about that and take inspired action. And then finally, we talked about the essence word of 2023. In this moment, now that you've went through this whole entire practice, what's one word or phrase that catches the essence of what you want to focus on in 2024? Like I mentioned, with ease, flow, and grace for me, that really directed my whole year. What word, what phrase will do that for you? What is that essence of that word that will keep you focused in that direction your entire year of 2024? Really think about that. Is it abundance? Is it success? Is it ease, grace, and flow? What is the word that drops in? And if you're quiet and you listen, it's going to drop in. And you'll know that's the right word or phrase for you. All right. So I invite you to go through all these journaling prompts, take some time for yourself. Like I mentioned in the first video, I set up a sacred space. I have my candle around me. I have some crystals. I had some music on. I made it a really calm, inviting, fun space. And in a closed room where I wasn't going to be interrupted, I turned off my phones and took that time for myself. And I can tell you, I feel so much better and so much better prepared for 2024 from an emotional standpoint, from a feeling standpoint. And I hope this will work for you. And now I've cleared all my energies so I can really get into the strategic planning for my business, and get into the masculine energies of planning. When do I want to do this? And when do I want to do that? I really took this time to focus on the feminine energies of getting into the feeling space and clearing out my energies and setting my intentions for the new year. So again, I invite you to play along. I hope that you found this helpful, and thank you for listening to the video, tuning in. I wish you the best. I wish you the most wonderful happy new year, and please know that you're supported, and just drop some comments in the or reply back to me. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I wish you much success. I hope your year flows with ease and grace. I will talk to you later. See you later. Bye for now. Thanks so much.